For the people who are asking about
gonna be
spice, we're somewhere between like cayenne and just pure capsaicin right here. This is Sea Stompy. Sea Stompy v Maverick, my man, yeah.
I don't know, you guys may not know me, but as a Legacy player, I like to play loose decks. I love experimenting. I played Angel Stompy for a while. I played Prowess Creatures in my Grixis Delver and actually like top 8'd a couple tournaments with it. So I love playing loose decks. I love playing fringe decks. I love this stuff. I love Stompy. So we're gonna see.
Well, that's the thing. I love
great
Legacy. Legacy is like what keeps me going in Magic, what keeps me interested in the game after all these years, and it's not because of the Tier 1 decks. It's because of all the Tier 2 decks. Like, there's still decks that people show up at tournaments with that I've never seen or heard of before. And I've been playing this game seriously for 4 or 5 years. This format specifically. So if somebody showed up with what card did we see earlier? Last Rites in Lands.
Yeah.
I had never seen that card before in my life.
And not just somebody.
Yeah.
Dave Long
Dave
showed
Long.
up with Last Rites.
The champ. Alright, so we have Christopher Strachan, who's known for playing Maverick and related decks.
He's definitely on that today. I watched him playing Corey earlier.
All of the Green Beats core. Somebody in the chat's talking about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So Andre Yelovich is a good friend of mine. He had Fluctuator built for a while. And he's got the Judge mat. That's the mat I use. I got gifted it from DJ. DJ Andrzejczyk is the guy who tested me for L1. He gave me that mat. But yeah, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is the Fluctuator deck. So Fluctuator is a 2-mana artifact. It's a cycling costs you pay, costs 2 less. So it plays a whole bunch of cards that cycle for 2 colorless. None of the colored mana cyclers, but all the 2 colorless cyclers. You just throw a bunch of crap in your graveyard while you just cycle through your deck. You're just drawing things, and then you use Lotus Petals to cast a Songs of the Damned, which gives you a black mana for each creature card in your graveyard, and then you use that black mana to leverage some sort of either Stormkill or like just a giant Drain Life or whatever. It's an old school combo deck. Like, we're talking late 90s.
Yeah. Like,
this is not modern era Magic. But people are thinking that it will get a lot better just because the cycling support is getting better with Amonkhet.
And all the cards in Amonkhet cycle for 2 pretty much. This is as much as we've seen so far is you just like free cycle through your deck.
There's a couple blue ones, but those are the ones you didn't want anyway.
Yeah.
The one you want is like the Archfiend.
Yeah.
Like, that's a cool card you can ritual
the lands.
out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they were talking about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in the chat, and they asked maybe the commentators will talk about it. So Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is using Gitrog Monster.
I thought Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was this deck, the Fluctuator deck.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, is it the same? Do they play Gitrog too?
So it's already a deck, and then now it's going to get better, is what I think. People were already messing with it, and now they get more lands to cycle.
Yeah, so when Gitrog Monster was printed, I wrote a article that was probably 1,500 words just about how sick that card was, because I'm a Life from the Loam fan for life, and just all the crazy stuff you can do with the Gitrog Monster. Like, I've played an EDH where you play a Gitrog Monster, and then you move to discard, and you just keep chaining discarding lands until your whole hand is spells.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? And then you just discard a spell, and now I have 8 spells. I went from having nothing to everything. Like, the Seismic Assault interactions, the Cycling Land interactions, Loam. Awesome card. Wish it didn't cost 5 mana.
Can't be Decayed and can't be Fatal Push, though.
I wanted it to cost 4. I think
so you just put it in Nick Fit, right? That's what Reddit's solution is to everything.
I've tried. Yeah, exactly.
New card gets spoiled. Well, this goes well in Junk Nick Fit or Buck Nick Fit.
It's the same thing as like Good and Limited. Like, you can just put it on any card. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is because of Bloated Toad, so it might not be Gitrog Monster.
I think that might be a nickname. I've never heard of Bloated Toad. Let me see if I can find it.
It's probably just a cycling card. They don't care about the cards that just do nothing but cycle, so. Bloated Toad. My favorite toad is Chub Toad.
Bloated Toad is a card. It has cycling and protection from blue.
Sick art.
Cycling 2, protection from blue,
Sick
2/2.
art. That's amazing.
It's got the most amazing artwork of any card.
Alright, so Chris Strachan has started off with a really good start. He has Karakas and Mom, and then next turn Wasteland Thalia. So now he's disrupting his opponent from casting spells. He has protection for his Thalia. This looks like a D&T start, but here's a forest. Mother Runes is probably the best white creature ever printed. Death and Taxes players were cutting one for a while during, like, oh, well, here's True Gnosis. That's going to be a pain in the ass.
waste the seat.
So Crispin, I believe, is at 18. He got hit with a...
He's at what?
18, I believe.
Okay. I'm going to put this art on stream when I get a chance.
Alright, so Stoneforge Mystic has gotten Sword of Fire and Ice, which lets him bypass the True Name Nemesis. His life total is still at a healthy amount, so he's probably not going to get raced by it.
Yeah.
Now, if Crispin has a backup True Name Nemesis or a GTA of his own, for instance, it could be a pain. There we go. So backup Mom.
Should be able to fetch for Forest Baron Cube.
Only if I can also use my Flooded Strand to get Island Fish Jesconius.
So Chris has a pretty reasonably fast start without, considering he doesn't have any mana acceleration. He got Stoneforge, he's got a Thalia, and he's got 2 Moms. Crispin is gonna.
This looks like a very D&T board.
Yeah.
But the forest.
And the Savannah, give it away. Now Crispin's Sword of Fire and Ice is really, really good.
So let me just point out for people who are tuning in, if you are a Legacy aficionado, this is a match with top 8 implications. See, Stompy could potentially top 8 this tournament.
Yes.
So don't get on us for showing some low tier decks.
I think he might have topped 8 if he hadn't been pared down to the 2-1.
He might have just drawn in, yeah.
Yeah.
He just had bad breakers, I assume. He probably got his loss early. Ooh, Pride Mage. All right, so now we're gonna have dueling Sword of Fire and Ices, but the Pride Mage is the trump.
Yeah.
Look at this. Threats and answers lining up perfectly. And he couldn't even force the Kozali Pride Mage because the Thalia was taxing him.
He's tapped out, yeah.
Magic as it was meant to be played.
This is pretty much how you draw it up for Maverick here. Although I don't think you draw it up intending to beat Sea Stompy these days.
Well, this is how you draw it up when you're playing like Death Indexes. The Maverick deck just happened to draw the white half of its deck. Because like a Knight of the Reliquary would be not very good on this board. He has 2 lands in the yard and no sweet lands to tutor up that interact with True Name. Yeah, sure, I'll equip and swing.
Swing, crack Pride Mage. I'll take 3.
Wow, this has worked out very well for Chris.
Yeah, sometimes you just draw. I mean, it helps when you're not playing Brainstorm. It helps when you just draw the cards you need instead.
That's very true. So now, do you just take the opportunity? Yeah, I think you just get your sword hit in while you can. Fetch land brings him to 12.
Put it on Thalia, and I believe, yeah, that's all going to go to Crispin, so he's going to take 6.
I'm usually not a fan of the green creature decks, but Chris is a good friend of mine. He's been putting the work in necessary to make this deck good. So.
He knows this deck very, very well.
When you see somebody who's playing a lower tier deck, a lot of people, I think, have this perceived like arrogance where it's like, well, he's playing a deck that's not good, I should win. But what you fail to realize is that these people put the time in to make those decks good.
Yeah.
I win so many games because people underestimate High Tide because it's not a good deck, but why would I be playing it if I hadn't been here for years playing this deck, you know?
Crispin has laid a morph on the table. I believe that's a Stratus Dancer.
Oh. Last time I played against Sea Stompy in a sanctioned event was Damon Whitby. And he played a morph, and I called it. I said, that's Stratus Dancer, isn't it? And he just gives me like the blank look. But then later on in the game, I have to play into it. Like, there's nothing I can do, so I just like Time Spiral, and he's like, Stratus Dancer, get wrecked. And I'm like, I knew it, but nothing I could do.
Yeah, so he played that face down. I don't think he intends to flip it face up. I think he's planning on blocking Thalia here.
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, being a colorless morph is kind of a
pretty helpful,
unique line of text.
Yeah.
And Mom can't even like swing past it, so this buys him some time.
Yeah.
Actually, he could potentially win this race if he has enough morph creatures. Like, if he just keeps drawing dumb morphs, he can just face down them every turn. And
the trouble is he's tapping Ancient Tombs to cast them.
Ooh, that's bad, yeah.
So what he can do, though, is if he has like a Jite, he could draw a Jite off the top here. Mm-hmm. That could keep him alive, but he's facing down a lot of pressure. I think he's going to take 1.
Yeah, Stoneforge looks like a guy in the red zone, too.
Yeah, why not?
It was Stratus Dancer.
Honestly, I might have even sent some Moms. Because like they're not blocking a True Name. He's not playing removal.
Well, maybe he's just playing around like a snap or some kind of like weird bounce spell. You never know what Sea Stompy has.
Yeah. That's true, but you don't really care about Stoneforge getting snapped. You're actually kind of happy with that. And Thalia can't be snapped because she's Pro Blue right now.
It's true. Looks like he has a little bit more business.
Yeah, he's also going to put another Reliquary into play, which Crispin's going to go ahead and Force of Will. It takes him down to 4. And draws a City of Traders and packs it up. So that's going to do it for game 1.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know, maybe you just tuned in, or maybe you just are not as up on Legacy. Sea Stompy is a old deck. Stompy decks, contrary to what a lot of people use them to mean, actually mean like Chalice and Soul Land decks.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the true meaning of Stompy. A lot of people call like the modern deck Green Stompy, and that's just not what it is. So Stompy decks are Ancient Tomb core decks, which would remind you of like Eldrazi, for instance. They use Ancient Tomb, City of Traders to power out Chalices, which help fight the fair to blue decks. So Sea Stompy is a deck that uses that core, but supplements it with blue threats. So the original card was Sea Drake. It's a 3-mana 4/3 flyer, but you have to bounce 2 lands when you play it, I think.
Well, so when it enters a battlefield, return 2 target lands you control to their owner's hand.
So you can do some tricks with like...
Right, so if you have a Chrome Mox and an Ancient Tomb, you can cast it, and since you only have 1 land, you can't put the activated ability on the stack because there aren't enough targets.
So you just get a free...
So you have a 4/3, yeah.
Yeah. Get to sneak away with it. So Sea Stompy got... Its namesake was Sea Drake. I don't think he's still playing Sea Drakes, but it's still blue disruptive aggro deck at its core. Having Force of Will really helps. Back to Basics looks really good here.
Back to Basics in this direction, yeah, those are both good. Looks like Revokers. Seems like he's got about 1 million sideboard cards he could probably bring in. Is that a Walking Ballista? I believe it is.
That's cool. That's a
new
addition.
That's reasonable. But, Chris could easily get his next draw. His next hand could be a Knight of the Reliquary hand.
That's true.
And the Walking Ballista could be just like completely outmatched. That's the thing about Maverick. Like I top 8 in an event once. I literally never played against Maverick in my entire Legacy career. I played against a lot of decks. I'd beaten really good Lands players, really good Miracles players. I was playing Grixis Delver, and my opponent was Maverick, and I had no idea what the hell he was playing. Like I boarded like it was he killed me with like we saw here Death and Taxes hand in game 1. So I boarded like a Death and Taxes game plan. And then in game 2, he had like Scavenging Ooze and Knight of the Reliquary, and like I had all these like -1/-1 effects in my hand.
Very true. Marsh Casualty is not very good against the 10/10 Knight. Zell's Persecution, things like that.
Yeah.
So
I think it was like Electrickery in my hand, yeah.
So I actually got into Legacy right around the Maverick Dominance era. For those of you who are like new to Legacy, you might not believe it, but there was a time when Maverick was the best deck in Legacy.
Really?
And it was like pretty well accepted. So like Rug Delver took over, and then Maverick showed up and it just took a crap on Rug Delver. It still beat Zoo, which was big at the time. Like, Maverick was just basically big green-white, and it had good matchups against Wasteland decks, had reasonable matchups against combo once Thalia came out. People really thought Maverick was one of the better decks, and that's when I started playing lands. And let me tell you, you beat the hell out of Maverick. Tabernacle's so good against them. Wasteland was good against them. They had basics, but yeah. I think you disabled them.
I disabled them earlier. I forgot about that.
That's weird.
Yeah. Maybe they've been off for too long.
Yeah, they just went to bed. We're trying to get the face cams re-enabled, but yeah, it was around 2011, I think. I guess I started playing in 2011, so it was probably like late 2011, early 2012 was when this like time where the deck was dominant.
Yeah. A while ago.
Yeah.
Few years.
Don't want to sound like an old fart, but it's top deck in our hearts. Rug Delver was, I guess, like the metagame back then was like Fish, Rug Delver, the Epic Storm was the Storm variant of choice. This was before the rise of Ant, and they still played Ill-Gotten Gains back then.
Yeah.
Sneak Show was considered like almost a joke deck. because Grizzlebrand hadn't been printed yet. So like you're like, oh,
Okay.
I can put an Emrakul into play, but I guess then Progenitus was the other one.
Yeah.
Before Emrakul, they played Progenitus and Woodfall Primus.
Oh, jeez.
Because sneaking in a Woodfall Primus is pretty cool.
Yeah. And like you had Maverick would play like before Night of the World Core, these kind of green-white fair decks. They play things like Mystic Enforcer.
Oh yeah. Jotun Grunt. That was a good beat
before
down guy.
Tarmogoyf, you'd play like Werebears, and like that was like the class of threats in the format.
Team America, like the classic one with hymns and sinkholes and stuff like that. Yeah. When
I remember I play
was...
tested one once, and it was a deck with 4 Bobs and like 3 Tombstalkers, and the amount of times I just took 8 to my own deck was far greater than it should have been.
But it was worth it, man. No, this is the funny thing. So when Snapcaster was printed, people didn't think it would be good in Legacy, and so we started brewing a deck that was Snapcasters, Stifles, and Sinkholes.
Oh God.
So just looking back now, Snapcaster is considered probably one of, if not the best blue creature ever printed.
Yeah.
Sees widespread play across multiple decks. It literally keeps blue alive in Modern. Without Snapcaster, blue would see 0 play.
What are its competitors? Delver, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like Delver and Snapcaster, both in the same set.
Yeah.
That set was real good to blue creatures.
But so, yeah, looking back, now it's obvious to everybody Snapcaster's insane, but back then I bought a set, pre-ordered them just thinking they would be insane in Standard, and I was like, maybe I could play this in Legacy with Sinkhole and Stifle. That was my first thought. Oh, Shadow of Doubt. You would Snapcaster Shadow of Doubt.
Oh, yeah. I played that in Modern for a time, because you don't have Wastelands in Modern. Shadow of Doubt's great. Crack Fetch, Shadow of Doubt you.
And then somebody innovated like the Rug deck, or the Bug deck that played Unearth with Snapcaster Mage. That was cool. You could Unearth a Goyf, then Snapcaster Unearth.
Value Unearth.
Get another Snapcaster, yeah. Alright.
Alright,
so we're players done sideboarding?
Yeah. Crispin's going to be on the play, having lost game 1. He's got an Ancient Tomb and a bunch of blue cards.
So what do you think is the advantage of Seed of the Synod in his deck? I saw it game 1. It seems like it just opens you to Wasteland for not much gain. I assume he has a Trinket Mage package.
Probably. Yeah, he has Trinket Mage. I guarantee you he has Trinket Mage.
Yeah, so maybe it's just a 1-0 seed.
Because Trinket Mage can get Chalice, like, Trinket Mage can get Moxes and stuff.
Yeah, so, Pox is like the black deck. It's unfortunately just not that great. Turns out Sinkhole is pretty bad. Transmute? Is there a Transmute card that can get? I don't think he plays like Muddle the Mixture or anything like that.
There is a that can get what?
He's talking about the Seed of the Synod, I assume, but like, I guess you would have to transmute Teleria West to go get that.
Yes, you could transmute Teleria West to go get it, but most likely it's Trinket Mage.
Yeah.
Because it just lines up with what the deck is trying to do so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like lots of colorless mana and 1 blue symbol. Yeah, that Literal Core is going to do some damage here. It's got Shadow, so it can only be blocked by other creatures with Shadow, which is exactly 0 in the format. So he's going to play
Hey,
Tomb.
speak for yourself, man. I've played a Dolthy Slayer. No, I'm just kidding. I never played a Dolthy Slayer.
He's going to take 2 from Ancient Tomb here to equip. Oh, he took 2 from earlier Ancient Tomb. So he's going to go to 16.
Chris has a reader. Chris rarely reads cards, because being a judge, he knows a lot of these things. But he had to read Literal Core.
Understandably so. So it's an unblockable, effectively unblockable 1/1. When it deals combat damage to a player, you can draw a card and then discard a card.
So it's not a good game just yet. He has probably exactly 1 turn to draw Abrupt Decay or Kasali Pride Mage.
I'm just going to play a face-up Stratus Dancer here. It's just a flying 2/1 here. Just a welcome turn.
Welcome turn.
So he's got options.
That was my draft
If
strategy.
Chris has like an Abrupt Decay or something, or Source to Plowshares, he has options for what creature he wants to put GT onto.
Well, I think you just hit
he frag Mom. Yeah, that's definitely correct.
The creature is Looter Ilcord. It's a 1/1 with Shadow, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player draws a card and then you draw a card, then discard a card. The controller of Looter.
Let's see if I can bring it up on the stream here for you guys.
Cube All-Star, you're right. Yeah, so if Chris does not have probably Pride Mage or Decay this turn, he loses. The first GT hit was not that backbreaking because all his guys had 2 toughness, but the second GT hit is just going to be too good.
So, this is Literal Core. This is what Crispin has in play and is currently carrying an Umezawa's GT.
I never really looked at the art on that card. He kind of looks like a gremlin. Hey, he's a core, so when you put your Cavern Souls on core for your Stoneforge Mystic, it also lets you cast Literal Core. That's technology.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So we'll
wipe away. God. Yeah, Stratus Dancer is expensive, but what you're looking for is cards that synergize with the colorless mana produced by Ancient Tomb and also are disruptive. So the cross section between those things is pretty low, so you just kind of have to run Stratus Dancer.
Frag a Deathrite, pass a turn.
Yeah, Chris is probably not getting out of this one.
Stop kicking the frame, guys.
In theory, Crispin's on the big mana deck. Yeah, doesn't look like it this game, but he should be having multiple soul lands. He probably also plays like Grim Monolith.
So Chris is going to play Cavern, presumably naming... What do you name? Core? Artificer?
Well, he names Core so he can play his own Literal Core next time.
And then Stoneforge.
Yep. So he's getting Sword, but he's not...
Sword is good here. Pro Blue is pretty good against the Mono Blue deck. So Chris also has a spicy one in his deck. Pretty standard in Maverick lists, but not standard in any other list. He's got a Scrib Ranger in his deck, which Crispin told us earlier is literally just GG. Like, he just scoops to that card. Looter is the only thing that he can do to it, and now he's got a Looter and a GT. So he's in a good spot right now to deal with that. But
That's really funny. But when you talk to somebody in Legacy and you're like, what card do you want to see the least? You know, you expect Counterbalance, Wasteland to be answers. You definitely do not expect... the one card I just...
I'm not tracking Chris's life total. He's taken 3 hits from Looter and then 2 from Stratus Dancer here.
I believe so.
Is he pumping? I think he's pumping.
So I wouldn't say Mud is completely dead. Like we've talked about before, Legacy has a very, very deep pool of tier 2. And
cracked a fetch too.
Mud serves a purpose. So it's like a bigger Eldrazi deck. It's much heavier on the lock pieces and has a lot more big stuff to do that's harder to deal with. Wormcoil Engines and Godaltha Forge Masters. Like, the end game is a lot better than Eldrazi, but Eldrazi is a much more consistent deck by far.
Yeah, in an Eldrazi meta, you might want
to be the Mud guy, yeah.
But, yeah.
Just they go Reality Smasher, hit you, and you go Wormcoil Engine, you lose, yeah.
Or, like, here's a Platinum Empyrean, now I can't lose. Like,
yeah, actually...
I think they play actual 0 outs to Platinum Empyrean.
I was going to say all is dust, but it doesn't hit colorless card. Alright, so we'll see if this one Sword of Fire Nice hit is going to be good enough. Wipe away. Boo.
Wipe away.
It's the second one this game, too. Ouch. So we're going to go to a game 3 again. We've had lots of really interesting matches here. Yeah, GT just takes over at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right there. GT just takes over.
What's that card he's discarding?
That is a Sea Drake.
It's actual Sea Drake. You're right.
Chris is reading the card. And we're playing a true name here. Leaving up blue?
And the Stratus Dancer.
I don't know why you leave up the seat though. If you want that blue mana, you kind of don't want to leave it vulnerable to Wasteland.
That's true. Seas were angry today.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. So Crispin is he's been around. He hasn't played in a while, but yeah, Crispin is kind of known for playing these loose decks. Yeah, last time I saw him, he was playing blue-green Enchantress.
Oh yeah.
He also has been known to play. He was playing Braid Stacks for a minute. He was playing Stifle Knot for a little while. He's got a big collection, and he loves to play these.
That's what I loved about Games and Stuff Legacy back when that was around. We would just all hang out, and there were so many people that were just known for the wacky decks. You really got a good taste of like Legacy as a meta, not just Legacy top decks. You know.
Yeah. So, I actually have a standing rule. If I show up to a tournament and Crispin is registered in that tournament, I am not going to play in that tournament. It does not matter what tournament it is.
You just really don't want to lose to some crazy nonsense.
So it's because, yes, and it's because I always get paired against him, no matter how large the field is, and he's always playing some bullshit deck, and I always lose to him. I have not beaten Crispin ever. Literally 0-4 the entire time I've played Crispin. So, like, last time I played him, I was playing Burn, and he was playing that blue-green Enchantress deck I mentioned. No non-basics in the entire deck. All basic lands. Game 1, I drew 3 Price of Progress.
God.
It's kind of a beating.
Speaking of weird, like, fringe matchups, I lost playing High Tide against Green, White, Enchantress at the Eternal Extravaganza, which should just never happen.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you know about the metagame breakdown for High Tide matchups, but...
Did they have any interaction with you?
Game 1, 0. Game 2, she brought in Trinisphere, and Leyline Sanctity, but these are all cards that I can just, like, Hercules, right?
Right.
But I, like... kept a loose hand, didn't see my second land, got Brainstorm locked, like, just everything that could have gone wrong did, and she had, like, turn 2 Sphere off of Wild Growth into turn 3 Hardcast Leyline, turn 4 tap Sarah's Sanctum for extra mana from my Grove, and then Rest in Peace Helm, and just killed me. Like, oh, Choke, too. Yeah, I also lost game 2 to Choke. Just bad news, but I took it in stride, you know?
Yeah, so saw a comment in the chat just now. So Crispin's deck is, it's based off of Chalices. It's a Chalice deck. Sol lands, City of Traders, Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void. He might have Trinispheres, I'm not certain. I'm actually would not be surprised if he does not, though. He has a bunch of 2s. Yeah. So it does hit him for a lot. So he's got that going. But, you know, game 1, but in game 2, I don't know if he keeps the Chalices in. I think he can against Maverick. It's got enough ones. You got Deathrite, Mom, Swords.
On the play, definitely. But yeah. Maybe on the draw they come out.
Possibly, yeah. Looks like that's what he's doing.
Protecting against Swords is less relevant because your main threat is True Name.
It looks like he boarded out the forces for game 2. And he's boarding them back in. Yes, it is Mist Hollow Griffin. So Mist Hollow Griffin is played in this deck and in Food Chain. It's 2 blue for a 3/3 flyer, and you can play it from exile.
In this deck, there's no combo with it. It's just a resilient threat,
right? You just pitch it to Force of Will, and then cast it next turn. You can imprint it under Chromox, and then cast it from the Chromox. Unfortunately, that means your Chromox can no longer tap for mana, but sometimes it's worth it to just get that
Have you seen the Eldrazi deck that plays Serum Powder and Eternal Scourge?
I have not seen that, but so that sounds
mulligan
spicy.
Your opening hand that has an Eternal Scourge, exile it under the Serum Powder, and then you have access to a 3/3 at any time.
So, yeah. Mist Hollow Griffin's actually really good. It's a 3/3. You can trade with Delver. You want to Swords to Plowshares it? Be my guest.
Chain play Serum Powder. That would be sick.
Food Chain playing Serum Powder?
Serum Powder Food Chain?
Serum Powder is such a loose card, man. Every deck that card has ever been played in is always so loose.
I played Vintage Dredge, man. So I played against this guy at Eternal Extravaganza. He got furious. He's like, played against 3 Dredge decks today. This format sucks. I just built this deck and I just lose to Dredge. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. And then as we're shuffling up, he's like, God, I just really hope you're not on effing Dredge. And then I'm just like, exile my hand to Serum Powder. Sorry. Like, very first... The word I said to him was like, sorry.
So, 200 viewer hype. We were over that mark for a split second. So, thank you guys for tuning in to Skyship Gaming today. We're a relatively new stream. You can see we only have well, actually, we've got 91 crew members now. So that's pretty sweet. So, we have 91 followers. We stream trading card games, including Magic the Gathering. My favorite game is Magic, and my favorite format is Legacy, but I also stream Force of Will. I'm actually relatively well known in that community. Yeah. For streaming that.
Yeah, exactly. The competition is less. Magic's been around for so long. So.
Yeah. But we pull way more viewers. Like I was beating the official company stream 2 weeks ago with Force of Will, with like 35 viewers. So like we have 200 here, and we really appreciate you guys joining us. Magic is great. So we're in round 5. We could
call this a Force of Will stream because it is Legacy. Yeah.
Thought about it. So we're in round 5 here. We're gonna get a cut to top 8. It's a 1K here in MTGFirst in Glen Burnie. This is game 3. See how this one plays out. Chris is gonna open on Mom.
Yeah, Chris being on the play means he can get one of those like Death and Taxes starts like he had game 1. That could really be. Oh yeah, that's right. The Mist Hollow Griffin combo.
So Crispin opens Island, Chromox, Imprint, Mist Hollow Griffin, Luterial Core, go.
Pillzip, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
Chris is just like he's had enough. He saw enough of that card last game. He's just gonna immediately snap off a Swords to Plowshares on it.
He let it get plowed, so that's fine. And then what do we see? Second Mama.
Yep, second Mom. I like an attack here. You know Crispin doesn't have removal. But you get into that habit with Mom. She's not there to attack. She's there to protect.
Like an enchantment almost, yeah.
So just snap off another Reliquary. That's going to meet a Force of Will pitching Sea Drake.
So did Crispin miss his land drop? I think that's...
Yes, he did. He did.
There we go.
He's got a seat now. And there's a Sea Drake. He's going to bounce his lands, pass a turn.
Wow, this GT could take over the game if
it really
Chris
could.
doesn't have another removal spell.
And good news for Crispin is he bounced his Seat of the Synod, which means that Chris's Wasteland can't hit it yet.
Troll it, PC. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it, man. All right.
For ya.
Wow, it got a quit. He didn't have anything to do about it.
That's gonna be really painful for Chris to deal with.
Chris.
Sea Drake carrying a GT is
Chris,
really
I love you, buddy,
damaging.
but this is. I didn't want to see it like this.
Now he at any point he could just draw an Abrupt Decay and just wreck this Sea Drake. So.
But remember that
he's
Crispin's deck
fallen
plays
behind very
misdirections. Not that he has one in
True.
his hand, but. Ugh.
There's a true name. Sheesh. Waste your seat.
Anybody that gets hit by a Sea Drake deserves to lose.
That's a Kasali Pride Mage. That's going to help a little, but it might be too little too late at this point. He's very
Sea
far
Drake is
behind.
a 4-power flyer.
Yeah.
This is nuts. Yeah, so the reason I play combo and Legacy, people ask, they're like, well, you have all these cool cards. Why don't you play fair decks? This is why. I never want to lose to GT True Name Nemesis nonsense. I just want to ignore those cards and play my game.
I think Crispin's pumping once, which is going to take Chris to 3.
Yep. And then maybe just kill the Thalia. No, the Crocus is still up, so... the Seed of Cyanide is probably as a tutor target for Trinket Mage.
That's what we figured, yeah.
We haven't seen it yet, but...
I don't think there's any Metal Craft shenanigans going on.
Alright, so he's...
Going to Pride Mage the GT now, before damage.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to pump then.
So that puts Chris down to 1, is that
puts
correct?
Chris to 1.
Whew!
Oh, I think that killed him. I think he fetched to do that, and so that took him to dead.
Either that or he just knew the writing was on the wall and scooped anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So Crispin Allen goes 4-1 with C Stompy, making top 8. Going to be a high seed with an X1 record. How about that?
And keep in mind, so some people might be tuning in and just be like, oh, this is just a scrub stream. We're screaming from some store. Yeah, it has C Stompy and goes, no, some of the best Legacy players in the world are in this room. Jarvis Yu is in this room. Dave Long is in this room.
This top 8 also features Jarvis Yu and Dave Long.
Yeah. And C Stompy, clearly tier 1.
Clearly tier 1. Crispin just knows how to play these janky decks. So let's see if we can grab Crispin in here for an interview. I'm sure the chat wants to hear what he has to say.
Not to toot my own horn, but this is why I picking a deck and sticking with it. He's clearly made so much progress with this deck just because he knows it, and knowing your deck means so much in Legacy. Tell him his deck sucks. We'll do. Get him in the booth. I believe Jarvis is on lands, yes. I thought he was on the 4-color deck because I heard him talking about it, but then I overheard him talking about it and he said the deck is trash and the mana base is terrible. So, knowing Jarvis's, penchant for hyperbole, he's probably not playing it. Mismatched jokes, yeah. Pimpin' ain't easy. Yep, so Sea Drake winning in a room full of very good players on very good decks. So, this is a smaller tournament as far as 1Ks go. This is a 30-player 5-round tournament, which compared to the Quest for Power, that are 7 rounds with 70+ players. Jarvis is streaming Death Shadow this week. Yeah, that's something I've been really thinking about, is that the core of the Death Shadow deck in Modern is so strong, I think it could easily transport itself to Legacy.
Crispin declined an interview request.
Oh, no.
He says there's a YouTube clip of Alex Hatfield describing the Sea Stompy list that he is playing on YouTube, on Snapcaster's YouTube channel, and he said that he recommended people go there if they want to learn more.
Yeah, if you are hankering for more Sea Stompy action, tune into that. Snapcasters is Corey Ponting's stream. Shout outs to him. He's a good friend of ours. He interviewed Alex Hatfield at Curio Cavern a year or so ago.
Yeah.
So somebody said they think Jarvis is playing Legacy Death Shadow. Have you seen him?
No, he's not playing. He's playing Food Chain.
Okay. Boo. But let me just, for the record, state, 2 months from now when it's the best deck, I think Legacy Death Shadow is good. So, for the record.
Okay. I'm gonna see if there's a backup match, and if not, we'll take a break.
Cool. Next round. Yeah, we got about 20 minutes left. It looks like so. If you're just tuning in now, we are at the tail end of round 5. We might get a backup feature match, we might not. I am Brian Marks. I'm streaming with Jameson Helfrich. This is Skyship Gaming is the name of the channel. We're streaming from MTGFirst here in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Just trying to bring you high-quality Legacy coverage on this Easter Saturday. So thanks for everybody tuning in. We've peaked over 200 viewers, which is awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody who followed. Just glad we're able to bring Legacy coverage out to people. Yeah, don't play two shadows. I don't know if anyone's seen, I believe it was Emma Handy had a clip from MTGO where she has 2 Death Shadows that are both 1/1s, and her opponent taps the Grove of the Burn Dwellers, and they both die. But because it's Magic Online, you can rewind mana abilities whenever you want, as long as you haven't cast a spell. So he rewinds it, and the Death Shadows pop back into play at 1/1. So he taps the Grove again, and they both die. And he just says in the chat, "I can't stop. It's too much fun."
So yeah, we're not going to get a match. The only one left, I think, is Dave Long playing Michael Haw, who is playing that Bug Leopold Splash Red. So they're battling it out for top 8 right now, but everybody else is
Awesome.
Dunzo. So we're going to take a break here for the next probably 20 minutes or so. We'll do a countdown timer and do 20 minutes.
To try to get a top 8 coming up. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Somebody give you a shout out in the chat. Thanks for bringing the stream to us. So Skyship Gaming is Jameson's stream. He streams Legacy every Thursday from here. Put Brian on the feature match table. Alright, this is me goldfishing high tide.
Welcome to the Legacy 1K. We're playing Pauper decks.
Oh yeah.
At the X1 table.
I like playing it. Just go lie down. Paint me like one of your French girls. Actually, yeah, I think Pauper would be super sweet, but
we'll try to get a Pauper event streamed, Brian. We'll try to support the community.
You, man. I'll get in touch. I'm gonna schedule something at Titan. Right. Titan is my local store. That's where I work, and
yeah.
So
yeah, you guys are welcome to the stream. It's my pleasure. It's a labor of love for me. I don't get paid for it. I don't solicit donations or anything because I actually don't want to deal with the paperwork of earning money on it yet. So, yeah. So I just love doing this stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for following.
You definitely got a lot more followers and viewers today.
Oh
so
yeah, we picked up a whole bunch today. So that's really awesome to see. We love to see that enthusiasm for streaming. So we'll be right back. We got a timer. You see the timer at the top. The round timer is actually now our we'll be back soon timer. So we'll return in a minute.
Cool.
So see you guys soon.